Penguin is here. Episode 3. It's coming on. Episode 4 was this past weekend. Setting the stage. Scotty Hawk joining me.
What's going on, man? Crazy episode. Crazy. They just get better and better, man.
Yo.
What up?
We're going to talk in depth. So I was getting fever. We're going to talk in depth about this episode because it was phenomenal. I think this was this the strongest one in your opinion?
Oh, yeah. I think it's like finally she finds out. Chat, we're just going to get right into it. Finally, she finds out that like it was Oz and that he's still been working behind her back this whole time. Now with the Maronis involved. It just went from 0 to 100 in this episode.
In episode 4.
Yep.
That's what threw me was like how I guess it's halfway through the season. I guess it's halfway through the season. But like what I like that they did though, and tell me if you disagree, but a lot of times you watch shows and like they build, and then this kind of moment would happen in like the second last episode. You'd be like, oh, the last episode's going to be the best. But this was halfway through the season. So now we have we can crescendo now. We can go on. Like the last half of the season is going to be, they're not wasting any of their episodes. They're not wasting, like there's no like filler. It's like, here it is. Boom, boom, boom. Every week, just throwing it in your face. And I love it. I love it. I said, bring it.
Yeah. And now it's like, halfway through, all bets are off. Like I literally don't know where we go with the next episode. Like it could go anywhere.
Have you seen the teaser for it?
I don't think I have.
It's like 30 seconds. They dropped them like right after the episode airs. I watched them online. I did a video on episode 3s, I think, and I haven't done one since because I don't know. Maybe I'll do one.
HBO's been doing good with their tweets and everything. They just tweeted like a bunch of photos from the episode. Says "sleep tight," and that was like their tweet 6 hours ago.
They know what they're doing. It's crazy. Like this episode that it's leading to, it looks like Oz is back at the forefront of the narrative again. Mm-hmm. And it's like he starts off and he's like, we got to thank Sofia. She did the work. So his plan is to wipe out both families, and she just wiped one of them out for him. And so he's all that's left is the Maroni now, and like obviously her and Vivi is too. But so it's heating up. Like there is a massive showdown on its way in Gotham. But let's not worry about where it's going yet. We'll get to that soon. Let's talk about this episode and how this was Sofia's. I mean, I think she's kind of. She's been, I think, a lot of people's favorites of this episode from this show for quite a while. And this episode, they threw her in the forefront. You got more of her backstory. I think they did a really great job of fleshing her out. And I wasn't really sure because I'm not a big flashback episode guy. I don't know if you are, but I'm like, when it's a flashback episode, I'm like, here we go. And this one, I was pulled right in, and I just loved what they did, and I loved how they showed how her character wasn't like she went in the first episode. She goes, "I was rehabilitated," and then we find out she didn't. There was no need for her to be like the whole time. I'm like, "Oh, she's crazy." There was no need for her to be. I thought that was a great revelation, and then we'll get into a little bit. And then Arkham itself was amazing, but I thought putting her at the forefront, showing what kind of person she is and who she turned into, makes her a perfect antagonist for Oz, who was another antagonist. I thought it was great.
She said herself that she's never done anything wrong in her entire life, and like that's absolutely true. And Oz is like a complete scumbag, dude. Like he is just blabbing to the point where like spit's coming out of his mouth, literally, to try to get out of whatever the situation is that he's in right now. Her Arkham arc. I was gonna say something else too, which I forgot. Before we got into that. Oh, the flashback stuff. So the flashback in this was crazy. They brought her dad back from the film, and I'm pretty sure that were they sitting at the same table? That's the same family table that they're all sitting at in the end. Maybe not.
It must have
I have to
been.
go back and watch it again, but I
They're
think it
really
is
good with,
their house.
they're really good at tying it in. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very reminiscent of like the last, like actually the last conversation that she has with him, I think, is that scene. And then in the the last real heart to heart conversation he has with her is around that table. And then at the party is when like he really flips on her. I thought that was kind of the craziest part of it for me, was the reveal of her not actually being the hangman.
Yeah, because we were all kind of like, they set it up for her to be the hangman. She's the hangman in the comics, and we know that about her. So there's that expectation to be met.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of like, is it her? And then last week she said she never was. So I was like, I kind of believe her, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be. I didn't think her father, though. I was thinking like her psychiatrist, Julian, or her brother. I thought because her brother's a holiday killer. Right? So I thought maybe they would do that with her brother and change that a little. But no, it was just Carmine, and they worked it into the movie. Right, they worked that he was the hangman. When you're watching the Batman, Carmine is the hangman killer in that movie. I just think that they have, I don't know what it is, but they have such a miraculous grip on this world, on this version of Gotham and its surroundings, that they're doing such a great job of fleshing it out. And I said on a Rebel Scum podcast, I was like, they did a tie-in book. I think you read it for the Batman. Remember, they did a tie-in book, and it was just like a little. I think it was like a.
It was like a one shot.
Yeah, it was a one shot about the Riddler when he was a kid, but it fleshed it out like it's just little tiny pieces, and they have such a good grip on this world and the characters and the atmosphere that they everything they do works. Like everything is just calculated. So they're like, this is that because we did this. Like they're able to backtrack because you know that when they made the Batman movie, Carmine Falcone wasn't the hangman killer when they were making that movie, but they're able to backtrack and work it in a way and make it all work and make sense. And that's why in that episode, I think it was episode 2 or 3, when they're like listening to the radio and they mentioned the hangman killer, Sofia is out of Arkham. She's like, no, play it. And they're like, they killed women. The hangman killer killed women, but in the comics, it's the cops. We're like, oh, they're changing it. And they're like, oh, now it makes sense because it's not her. It's her father.
Yeah, man. In my opinion, it's just Matt Reeves is like the through line on the whole thing. And I assume that he's just like literally created this entire world from the ground up. And he already knows like the end for Batman, the end for all these characters. And he's just, marching down the line right now. He's just moving the chains. You know what I mean? It's football season. And, it's really like amazing to see, and I hope that like potentially some other bigger studios see how he is connecting movies to television and to comics, and like you're gonna, I think, get a lot of spin-off material for this. If DC is smart, they'll do comics for all of these characters. And I really think like the point that I want to make here is that DC, in my opinion, shines the most when creatives are allowed to do this stuff that isn't restricted, not behind a PG 13 rating with a studio overhead. Like even the animated stuff that's, pardon the pun, literally batshit crazy, like Ninja Batman. I'm pretty sure that they take the trope of the carnivorous cities, or like the cities that can move around and stuff. They're like literal like robotic creatures, and even that did well among DC fans. So it's like, just give us a good story. I have put all of my faith into James Gunn and what he's doing, because he's been planning this. I think before he was even with Marvel, he's been writing stories about Superman and all these characters. So but yeah, like it just keeps getting better and better, man. I can't wait for Batman 2. I hope they get a trilogy. Yeah.
Reeves said it is a trilogy, so the plan is trilogy,
Yeah.
and unless Batman 2 tanks, the only, what, I just kind of wish that Batman 2 wasn't releasing so far after this show. Because
I also see people saying to like put all of this to the front of the line now and fast track everything you're going to do with this Batman character. Maybe even bring him into the James Gunn stuff. And I say no. I say no, please. Don't don't speed up your timeline, Matt Reeves. You take your damn time, you massage this thing to sleep, and then, like, just let him do what he's doing, because he's not doing anything wrong.
No, you're right. I wouldn't fast track it either. I'm not a big fan of Pattinson being brought in to the DCU either. Having not seen anything from the DCU, Creature Commandos, by the way, releases December 5th is when that comes out. But I haven't seen anything from the DCU, but I've seen the Matt Reeves stuff. And as much as I like it, it's very grounded, very down-to-earth Batman. And DCU, from the set images and everything we've seen, I mean, James Gunn just released a picture of Crypto the dog today. That's going to be in Superman. I don't know if this Batman belongs in that world. I know you can make it work. There's a lot of ways you can make it work, like just make his movies. But eventually they all have to come together. And it's just going to be jarring and awkward to see this moody Batman acting up with Superman. It's going to be like, why are we... I just don't understand. I don't think it would work, in my opinion.
I totally agree. And the other thing that's cool about DC is that there's a precedence to have multiple Batmans, multiple Supermans. There's a multiverse. If you do it right, what is the rush? Why not put the Pattinson universe over here on a shelf after it's got all its nice, shiny gold stars from the fandom and just leave them there? Drop a bomb on us later on when these universes start to collide and we get like Crisis on Infinite Earth, and then bring him back in. And, just take it easy, do what you want to do. I hope that the Brave and the Bold is equally as good over there, and that we're looking at both of these Batman like, damn, I want to see them on screen together, just like we want to see, just like everybody wants to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all them on screen together. Like, give me multiple Batman that weren't just one-off. No offense to Ben Affleck, but like, build the characters up. Make the fandom love them and want to have them come back in these multiverse films.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think I could see Pattinson if they built it up to like an event. But I think Brave and the Bold also, he's going to have a son, right? His son is Robin, and Pattinson,
Damian. Oh,
he's only in year 2. I can't see him having Damian. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't think he works in the world that Gunn is creating. And also, I think last December, like a year ago, James Gunn said it's not going to happen. The deal is you get your Batman and we get our Batman. We're two separate things, Elseworlds. And I think DC, if they can use Elseworlds and they can convince the general public who isn't familiar with the Elseworld aspect of comic books, if they can inform them as to how there is able to be multiple Batman and a Joker who sings that's separate from this world, then I think they can rule the comic book cinema, if you will, because that is such a strong, unique thing that they have. Where Marvel, everything's connected, right? I mean, they technically, I guess, they're multiverses elsewhere now, because now they've included the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, like all those things kind of exist. Fantastic Four, but it's different. DC can do something very unique with that, and I'll be very curious if they go through with it, or if they're just doing that to kind of get Joker and Batman out of the way. And then once those are wrapped up, well, Joker's definitely wrapped up, but once those are all wrapped up, then it's like just DCU, no more Elseworlds. This is what we're focused on. And Scotty, I don't want to see any more multiverse. I'm over it.
Yeah, I think that's the safe play too. I think let the Matt Reeves universe finish out, and then don't do anything that is disconnected from the current James Gunn stuff, because all of that's connected. The animated, the live action, the comics, and the timing, I think, is going to be crazy too, because Marvel is coming to like the end of all of their stuff, and I think they're going to have to push heavy into like X-Men and things like that. So it's like a reset at the same time that the DCU stuff is starting. So I think competition is going to be great for both companies. Yeah, it's the Brave and the Bold, I think, will be actually like Superman and the Batman in that universe. I'll be very interested to see how different they were from one another, because we've already kind of seen that with Batman versus Superman and the stuff that Snyder did.
So I don't think they're going to go that direction. The verses, I think they're going to just be teammates.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think he sticks to like the comic stuff, like a lot of the like timeline stuff that kind of hits in the Justice League and all those things? Because I mean, if you
sure
don't do friction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna
crazy. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he's gonna go. I don't like. I think because of the reaction. Here's why I say this though. Because of the reaction that Batman and Superman had. Now he could do a completely different movie that has nothing to do with Batman v Superman. Obviously, that's what he's making. Different tone, different actors, different. But the stigma of Batman v Superman is there, and when fans see it, they're like, "Oh, Batman and Superman again! They're fighting again." I think, and then so they're gonna, and the first thing they're gonna think of is that movie, which isn't thought of very fondly by a lot of people. So I just think he's going to stay. He might eventually get there, but it's going to be a long way down the road. And I think that's why I don't think we're going to get Joker right away. I think he's going to stay away from a lot of these characters that have been played out a lot. I think that's also why he's starting. I think he's starting with Superman because Superman is your number one, right? Like Superman is the king of the DC universe. He is the superhero. So you start with him, but he's holding off on like next to Supergirl. Like Superman and Supergirl are the first two movies that are they're in like production now. Well, Superman's in post production; it's got an assembly cut, but Supergirl's in production now. So and like because he just
live action.
That's live action,
yeah.
I'm going to do a video on his. He just did an update. I'm going to do a video on it soon. But so these are all in motion. But Batman and Brave and the Bold, it's not in motion yet. Like it's like they've got each either has a script or they're reworking the script. So he's not there yet. And I'm just thinking he doesn't want to rush Batman because we've also been inundated with Batman over the last 30 years, right? You have Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, and then the Nolan movies, and then Affleck and Pattinson now, and then TV. Like Batman is always
muddled the waters, James. They've put too many things in there. And now James Gunn is just like, damn it.
Yeah, so now I think he's gonna and the key is like his Superman movie has to be talked about as like the best Superman movie, I think. Like it can't be a subpar Superman movie. It has to be amazing. I don't know if it'll be like your favorite or my favorite, but I think we have to all of us have to agree like that was a good movie. Like we all have to say it was a good movie. There's a lot of pressure on that one. And Batman, even though it's going to come further down the road of the new DCU, it's got to be the same because the person they cast as Batman and the story they tell with Batman has to be strong enough for us to say that was really good. I want to spend the next 20 years, whatever, with that. Like it's impossible to find Robert Downey Jr. again, but that's what they're going to have to do for Batman. Almost. Right. You're going to have to cast someone like that. I think Corn Sweat, from everything I've seen with Corn Sweat, it looks like he's going to be solid at that. We're getting off topic though.
I know. Sorry. Can
we talk? Let's go right into let's go now into the Arkham aspect of the show. Yes. So it's a flashback episode where we see Sophia is framed as the Hangman Killer. She gets put in. Oz, we'll talk about Oz in a little bit because he really does her dirty in this. But Arkham, they made Arkham. They were going to do an Arkham series, if you remember. And
I do.
And they canceled that in like this summer. I think they said it's not happening anymore. So instead I think they incorporated that into this show because this episode was Arkham heavy. It was all Arkham. And it was awesome to see it play out because I thought it was like a horror movie, just like they kind of said the show was going to be. And what they did here that was so intriguing to me was they basically created the supervillains in Arkham. Like they took innocent people and they turned them into nightmares, into villains. Like they turned them into monsters in this place. Instead of rehabilitating them, they dehabilitated them. They turned them, they twisted them. And I thought that was a fascinating angle for them to play with with Arkham.
Yeah, her neighbor there. What a nightmare. Like, get away from me. No, I'm kidding. She was like she was like the least innocent or the least harmful one in there. But yeah, I was like looking around the room and trying to figure out like, are any of these other like background characters truly players that we're gonna see in other stuff? And I'm like pausing it on certain faces. I mean, they're walking right through the cells, James. Tell me you're not looking in the window at the guy with the arm. He's got the arm up on the thing. Like, what are you hiding in there, bro? Turn your back. Your back turned to me for what reason? So but yeah, the drug that she was taking, the red drug, was that not the same type of, you think?
That was Bliss. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the one from last week.
That's what I
Because she said
thought.
last week that she took it at Arkham. She did say last week she took it at Arkham. So
okay. So yeah, this is like a whole definitely citywide control factor here with this drug.
Which is, so I'm still thinking we're getting Court of Owls in
Batman
too. I think that's where they're going. I think this is all
some organization is taking control.
Exactly. I think there's a lot more at play here. I think Oz is going to be used as a pawn by the Court of Owls, unknowingly used as a pawn. I think they all are at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But that was so that
her, guy, right? Still,
So her cellmate or neighbor was Magpie, who was a villain from I think the 80s, and my friend Brian, who did a couple of Batman shows with me a little while ago, he's working on a Batman animated Christmas short. We're going to debut it on this channel on American Thanksgiving. On your Thanksgiving, we're going to debut it on this channel. It's only going to be a few minutes long, but we're going to debut it here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
But he's working on a longer animation right now of Batman called One Night in Gotham. And the villain in this animated series, he's been working on it for like 2 years or 3 years. The villain is Magpie. Magpie is the antagonist in it. And when she showed up, I'm like, shut up.
That's so crazy.
They pulled this on it. Yeah, he hasn't seen the episode yet, so I haven't told him. So if he's watching this, it just got ruined for him. But his Magpie is like 80s Magpie, not the new one. The new
and what is she in the comics? Because I'm not actually.
She's just like a thief, like a jewel thief. Like she loves shiny things, and and she's crazy also. Like if you could tell, she's like So it was really fun to see that cameo. But what I loved most about that cameo, the Magpie cameo, aside from it being Magpie and tying in, was that it once again informed us that this Gotham City is riddled with these villains, that the rogues gallery of Batman villains are already here. Like we don't have to see them turn into the villain of the bad guy. They're already there. Like Joker in the first one, obviously, like where the Penguin, they're already living within Catwoman. They're here. They're not supernatural beings. They're just normal people that are messed up. And they're already there. So whatever they're going to do going forward, No Man's Land, they have the characters in play because they're like, oh no, these characters always existed. We just didn't tell you about it. So that's what I loved about the name dropping of Magpie and using that character. Obviously, she's dead now, so she won't be on the Batman 2.
Right.
And also the fact that they used such a little known comic character, like that was a deep cut, and I was appreciative of that.
Yeah, give me more of that for sure.
Yeah, I was. They get a Bloom. I think Bloom is the guy who made Bliss, and he's a villain from the comics as well. Very different from this one, of course. But his drug makes you have superpowers. Like they find little tidbits and they just throw it in and name drop here and there. And I just love like villains live in Gotham. Gotham is the antagonist of this series, of the whole Batman Reeves-verse. Gotham is the villain, and that's why I think Court of Owls will ultimately be behind everything that we see. I don't know what the resolution is going to be. I don't know how they're going to get there. I don't know if they're going to be in 2 or 3. Or how big their role will be, because I think the villains that they've established, like Penguin, Riddler, obviously a little bit of Joker, Catwoman, and then now Sophia. I look, I don't know about you, Sky, but I thought Sophia was going to die at the end of this series. I still kind of think she will, but now I'm like, can she be in the movie? I almost would like this to be like if they made a movie about this, because she is, first of all, Christine Milioti is destroying this role, or just crushing this role.
Absolutely.
And but the thing is, it's not like she's upstaging Colin Farrell. It's like they're both like everyone is just so good in it, and everyone's like well cast. The dialogue, the writing, everything's solid. So she's bringing her A game, he's bringing his A game, and you're just like, man, just keep.
Even
going.
In this, I was gonna say like the Uber driver Oz Cobb is just like perfectly done. He's so sympathetic to her. He's like telling the other lady to get away from her. She doesn't want to talk to you. He's answering to dad the way that he should as like a good soldier. But like you see like the little bit of a betrayal that she felt from him, because I think she thought that they were friends at one point potentially.
It's funny
or,
because
like,
she,
in the same fight kind of thing.
She like respects him, but she doesn't almost, because if you remember, her brother said Penguin. She goes, "Don't you call him that?" But like right after, she's like, "You're my driver. Don't forget, you're just my driver." Like she kind of puts him down right away. But I love like they're both now she is more than anything, but they're both kind of cut from the same cloth. Like they're gonna do and say whatever they think they need to do or say to get the upper hand, to keep going. And that's why I'm like really curious where this is going. Why she kept Vidi alive? Like, what's the play there? She knows Oz is like Oz is done. Like they're done. They set up like their power couple in an episode ago, and now they just dismantled it like right away. You know, like they had one episode where they were together, like having the drug ring together, and now they're like, no, this is all done. And it's the writing is just so solid that you're like, okay, bring it. What's next?
I'm trying to remember. I think didn't the Penguin give her the photos? So isn't she the only one in possession of the photos now of him cheating or whatever? So that's potentially why she kept him alive, because now she has him on the hook as like a little.
Well, everyone's dead though.
Chip to play, but he's still like, what is his position? I think he's within the government or something like that. I actually want to rewatch some of these episodes because I feel like I've only watched each episode once, but I think the binge is going to feel really good. Like I'll probably binge it all. I'll binge it all again, like right before the finale or maybe the episode before the finale, just to get a feel for it all again.
And then you should watch the Batman first and then go binging all
the way. Oh my God. Yeah, actually. I keep saying I still haven't watched that. I watched it theaters, and I got to rewatch that too.
I watched that movie.
We'll do that before next week.
Yeah, I watched that movie a lot. I watched that and like.
I'm a fake fan, chat.
You are a fake fan. I do watch that movie quite. It's very long, but like, so I don't watch it like all the way through all the time. But I put it on. I don't know. I just love that movie. It's like 89 Batman 2. I watch a lot more than I think I do. Like I don't realize I'm watching it, and then I'm watching it once. So you're watching this again. I'm like, Luckily, she likes that movie too, so it's okay. This episode though, like we saw a lot of Arkham. We got a lot of the insights into what's going on there, creating the monsters, the dirty stuff that's going on. More Julian Rush. Still not sure how I feel about this guy. There's something off about him, and she knows there's something off about him. He says that him and Alberto got her out of Arkham eventually. I'm not sure how much I believe, like, because is it coincidental that she magically got out of Arkham when Alberto was gone? Alberto's out of the picture, and suddenly she's back. I don't know how anyone would have known that he was dead in that time, but like the fact that happened was very. They don't know that he's dead yet, right? They just think he's not around. So it's the timing's very curious to me what's going on there. Scarecrow still is popping up as a feeling like what they're doing in Gotham. He shows he's a little sympathetic, but is he? Or did Arkham turn him into something as well? Because maybe the doctors also start to feel a certain way when they're there. They start to like all of a sudden they go towards the darkness.
Yeah, what'd they do to this Riddler character when he was in there? How long was he in there for?
Yeah, Riddler, we're going to have to find out. And then there's Joker, what's going on with him. Like, those guys are probably treated a lot worse, right? So we get to see more of that. But Julian Rush, I'm just still not sure what to make of this guy. Like, is he just an original character? Is he or is he going to be this universe's Scarecrow because they don't have plans for Scarecrow in the movies? Or maybe they bring him there. I don't think you do, though. It's kind of weird. But or is he, Hugo Strange is brought up, obviously. But I don't think he's high enough on the Arkham food chain. I think this series could easily bring in Hugo Strange, but I don't think he is Hugo Strange. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Julian Rush?
You're the Doctor character, right?
Yeah,
I don't like him. I kind of want her to just get rid of this character. He's just like, at this point, I feel like his purpose has been served, and I don't know. He's kind of the most boring character for me, I think, because his motives are clear and all this, and it's like, I don't know. He seems like
what are his motives?
Well, wasn't it like love? He's like in love with her.
Well, that's what
feeling at some point, and it's like,
with,
yeah. For me, that whole like doctor drugging the patient so the patient will have a relationship. Like, I think we've seen that before. I don't know. Maybe there's some greater play here with the drug and like stuff he might know about Arkham, and that she can use him to use Arkham to her leverage maybe a little bit, kind of the way she got forced to be put in there. You know what I mean? So I don't know, though. I don't know what the play is with keeping him around right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's more to him than we're seeing. I'm just not sure what it is. Like, I hope it's more than just he loves her. You know, I hope it's not just I love you.
For sure.
I'm kind of with you on that one. Like, all right, lame.
He has this guilt, like, you know what I'm saying? He just like built up this guilt, and now it's like, okay, this is the only reason you're around. I'm pretty sure she's over it now. So, what's next for this character?
But she knows something's up with him.
Yeah, and her dad had all these people. Like, he had doctors inside Arkham. He had judges in Gotham. He had, people within the court systems writing affidavits and accepting fake letters and stuff. So maybe she's just keeping everybody around, doing the way dad taught her. But I'm still wondering where his plot line is going to end.
You could be right. She's keeping them. Julian is a creep. Scarecrow we got in the chat.
He is a creep. Absolutely.
He is like that first episode when they have that. There's that weird moment with them where they're like,
yeah, I didn't like him ever since. I didn't. Yeah,
I'm like, what's going on here?
And then when she like reaches out and she's holding his hand, and she's like, don't. And then it's just like, man, you suck. I
still think that in the next 4 episodes, there's going to be some revelation with that guy. Something's coming up with him.
Well, he better sacrifice himself to help her or do something crazy to make up for all this guilt that he's been feeling for 4 episodes.
I'm really curious where they're going with his character. But now, obviously, so the Falcone family is gone. They're like wiped out. Yep. There's none left, basically. There's Sofia and there's Vidi left. Everyone else, she went full gas mask Scarecrow on them and wiped them out overnight. Kept her cousin's daughter, I believe that was her cousin's daughter. She kept her alive. But everyone else, she had no remorse for. And when she came in and gave that speech at the end of the episode, that was brilliant. That was such it was so well done, well written, scripted. And it all kind of came because at the beginning you learned that everybody kind of wrote letter. Her whole family wrote letters saying that she wasn't mentally stable, and this was her big comeuppance. And she decided through her conversation with Julian Rush that she's like, okay, I'm going to become someone new. I'm not going to go to Sicily. I'm going to kill everyone in my family. I wasn't sure what was happening. I knew that she was going to kill them all. I was expecting like an explosion. I don't know why I was expecting like an over-the-top explosion, but that moment, I can't remember what song played. She puts the mask on and walks through the house and all the dead bodies. It's just
starts airing out all the windows.
Yeah, it was so cinematic and just it was so well done again that I love it. But it also showed again another flip in Sofia where now she's like, I'm going to take reins on my own life and handle things I want to handle. No one's going to tell me what to do anymore. Even though we kind of got a little bit of that, but now she was all in. She's like, I am the driver of my own vehicle. And she took it all in her own hands and she did what she had to do to get rid of everybody. And they mixed that with the Arkham episode because you need the Arkham episode basically to establish that she wouldn't have done that 10 years ago. A decade ago, she wouldn't have done any of that.
No.
But Arkham turned her into someone.
Oh, God, yeah.
And she tells her cousin's kid, she's like, she tells someone like Arkham made me do things. Arkham, they made me do things in there. And she tells, it was a cousin. Arkham made me do things. And now I know what I am now. Yep. And that bled right into this episode where she wipes out her entire family. And that's it. Her and Vidi are left. Penguin's running around somewhere with Victor. Heads are going to roll, as they say.
Yeah, they literally took an actual fear that majority of people have in their households of something that could actually happen. So that's why we get like the carbon monoxide sensors and put them in your house and stuff. So it's like pulling at like the realist fear as a tool to just literally kill your whole family was pretty sadistic, but also shows that Arkham, she's not the same person anymore. And I think that this is like her officially like flipping that switch. Like, I'm the villain now. You're welcome. Kind of.
I think HBO released they do little vignette documentaries, like 3 minutes or whatever on characters. And this week was Sofia Falcone, and it said Sofia's villain origin story was the name of that one. So yeah, this was her. Because a lot of people are like, oh, now I got to root for Sofia. She's the lead. She's the hero of the show. And I'm just like, are you crazy? She's the villain of it. It's a show about villains, and she's the villain.
Yeah.
Like Penguin is the one for some reason we got to root for. They're not making it easy, but that's what makes it so much fun, in my opinion, is that he's such a dick. They're like, you're gonna root for this dickhead, and Sofia is the one that we're all loving. But there's a flip. It's gonna switch. They're gonna go. I think it might be this week, next week. We're gonna go 180. And we're going to be like, oh my God, Oz has to get out of there. But they have done like a really good job, even in this episode, of making Oz very endearing. He's cynical and maniacal when he needs to be, but he's very endearing. Even when Sofia gets arrested by the cops and you see him like fighting for her and they're holding him back, you're like, is that real? You don't know if that's real or if it's a show that he's putting on for her. You don't know what's going on. But it's so well done. Like, you don't know what Oz is thinking at any given time because he's such a master manipulator.
And even the audience, we forgot that he just double crossed her at the beginning of the episode, and Vic had to come save him by hitting somebody else with a car again. So it's like this guy is just, I still can't tell if he's one step ahead of everybody or just really.
I know. Is really he a mastermind or just a dumbass?
Yeah. He's failing upwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that actually might be the best description of him. But I think he's a little bit more of a mastermind than he gives him credit for. But if you remember in episode 1, Sofia says, nobody gives you any credit or something, but everyone underestimates you, but not me. Yeah. And her downfall is that she finally underestimates Oz. She finally doesn't see what she says, nobody knows what you're capable of, but I do. And her downfall is that she doesn't see what he's capable of. And then he pulls a fast one on her. And now she's like, that son of a, it's coming up big. They're going to get each other hard because she was naive enough to trust Oz, who she never should have trusted to begin with after everything that happened. And but he's such a good manipulator that he gave her all the reasons in the world to trust him.
Mm-hmm. So I think I did catch like images of, because I'm going through Twitter to see what people are talking about. It looks like the Maroney kid. He was an actor that they introduced at Blackgate. Looks like he might be coming after him. It looks like Vic punches him in the face a couple times.
Yeah, is that the guy that Vic punches?
It looks like that might be who he's fighting. So maybe Vic steps up a little bit more in his role. Hopefully he gets paid a little bit more. I thought it was cool that he immediately asked for a raise. Yeah. So,
and he respected
good on him. Yep, good on him for that. So yeah, I think the Maroneys come after Oz now, and I think it'll be, this is just my prediction, I guess, for the next episode. It'll be Sofia kind of moving all of her chess pieces back onto the board, like placing the pieces and trying to figure out what her strategy is and who's on her side for real. And then it'll be Oz having to deal with the Maroneys still coming after him. Like pick up with them just literally in the car running. Because that's how this episode started. It was like we see that event and then it's her on the phone calling the guy and then passing out. I think the next episode should start right there. Vic picking him up, them getting in the car, and now what he's saying to Vic about what just happened. That'd be really cool.
You think, but we did kind of see, because we saw his ending of it and now we saw hers, so it might pick up right away. It'll be very curious. I love that they went right. They were just like, no, we'll go back to that episode and show you a different point of view, a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
And it's not like other shows. Burn. Yeah, but they do everything so well in the show. Like it's executed so well. You see other shows, I won't name them, but other shows try to do these things and they just fail so miserably. And you're like, I know what you want to do, but you're just not there yet. And yet this show, every time it's like, it does something. Like this show also, because you hear a lot of like the woke talk nowadays, right? The DEI woke talk, and this show did a whole episode on Sofia, a female character, going through it all and becoming the focus of the show. But even when we were in the flashbacks of this, they kept cutting to Oz. Like until Arkham, obviously, but they kept showing Oz. When she was talking to Alberto in the car, they cut to Oz and he's listening and he's eavesdropping on their conversation. He wants everything he can to go up. He's still our lead. He's still the one we're paying attention to. We're seeing most of it through his eyes, but we needed to know I think this episode is important because we need to know what Sofia went through in Arkham.
Yeah.
Because some bad shit's about to drop. Like she's about to, well, she did at the end of this episode. So we need to know that, she came from a place of innocence and now she's batshit crazy. And it's going to get really bad for a lot of people really fast. And I don't know if she's going to go right after Oz right away or if she's going to go after the Maronis. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're at a crossroads. Nobody, and it's great because now it's like it's a standoff. Nobody can trust anybody on this show now. There's trust is lost in every direction. Sofia has not one person left. Her bodyguard got killed. Vidi doesn't trust her. She doesn't trust Vidi. And then there's Penguin and Victor trust each other, maybe. But that's like the Maronis are Maronis. But like that's it. We're at a Mexican standoff, and it's about to go down in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. The preview even is just like she go to the funeral for all of the family. Like she goes and weeps for everybody and does a big speech. Like, I don't know. Is she gonna go bury her uncle and all her cousins?
Can you imagine? Just like
man.
Sofia goes and gives like a big eulogy and cries the whole time. That would be fantastic. But that would fit right in with her character, just master manipulator. But I really want to see what her plan is for Oz, and I want to know what Oz's plan is. Because like I said, in that trailer, he says she did half the work. Like she's done half of what they want. So how does he get rid of the Maroni? I really feel like this show is. I felt like it. I don't know if it still is or not, but it was going to be Oz's rise to power. This was going to be the Penguin's rise to power. So when we get to the Batman 2, Penguin is the mob boss in the Batman 2, and it works because in the Batman 1, Carmine dies, Penguin's there. So in the next movie, if you don't watch the show, the next movie, they're like, Penguin's a new mob boss. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. But when you watch the show, it fleshes out that sort of how he got there. There's more to it than just he's next in line. But again, you don't need the show to understand the movie, and that's what they're trying to do. So that's where I think we're going. But I also am like, wouldn't it be great if Sofia was around for the movie? Like, wouldn't she fit in that? I don't think she is, but wouldn't she fit in there so perfectly?
I think she could. Yeah, I think this just came to me too. So here's another prediction. I think Oz is going to spin this to the Maronis because that moment was so chaotic and everything, and now it's like literally all the Falcones are dead. All he has to do is go to the Maronis and tell them this was all part of the plan, and now there's none of them left. And I told you that I was going to take care of everything. I told you I was going to handle it. I gave you the ring, yada yada. Like, so I think he goes and tries to just get back in bed with them real quick because they're the next, tower he has to take down.
Oh yeah, or does he
maybe
go
the
back
second half? What's his name ever going to get out? Maybe
Maroni. I don't think Maroni's getting out.
Maybe he gets out. Okay, yeah,
that'd be a crazy bombshell. He's in Blackgate for a while, I think. I don't think he makes it out of this series though. I think he might die in prison.
True.
I'm not sure. I think there are critics out there who have seen all 8 episodes. We can ask them.
Ooh, I don't want to see leaks though. I actually don't want to see leaks for this.
No, that's the thing. I don't either. I love speculating.
I haven't been looking. Usually I do.
No, I don't look because I get very excited for this show, and I love doing my reviews on it after the episode. Like I watch it, then I do the review like right after, so it's like the most raw like opinion I can have of it when I talk about it. And I haven't like this show has like captivated me more than like I'm a big Star Wars guy, obviously. But I think since like one of the Mandalorian seasons, I don't think I've been hooked as much as this show has hooked me. Like it's like what's going to happen next? And again, and because it's Batman, because it has that Batman lore to it, it's like, all right, what Batman characters are going to show up and how are they going to be utilized in this episode? Why are we doing this? How is this going to tie into the Batman 2? There's a lot going on. I don't think Maroni's making it out of here. I don't think Two-Face is going to be. If Two-Face exists, he already exists in this Batman world. I don't think we're going to get how it is. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe Maroni ends up going to trial, and that's the trial that happens at the beginning of the Batman 2. I don't know, but.
We get an explosion.
Yeah.
After a song.
Is that a Joker Folia Dill reference that you're making? I'm not gonna lie, the actor.
Nobody references that movie, James.
It's gonna be a cult classic. I have a video on the channel. Check it out. I will say I thought that Two-Face I thought the actor was actually pretty good. I was like, he's actually not bad. Nice. He's like Billy D. Williams.
I gotta just go back and find that. I gotta go just find the cool scenes and watch all the cool scenes.
Yeah, watch. Well, there a few. Good luck. Yeah. Do you like singing and dancing?
No.
It's remarkable how the Penguin gets it right and the Joker Fleet did.
Yeah.
Like it's just amazing how like because they're both out and like everyone's obsessed with the show and talking about the show and everyone's obsessed with Joker for very different reasons. Very different reasons. I wonder how this would have done as a movie if it would have done well in the theater. I don't know if it would have. It might.
No, I think they needed all this time to tell.
Tell
this story. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, because at one point I was like, how do you get Colin Farrell and these actors to be in it? And then you watch, you're like, oh, that's how. Good writing.
Yeah, dude, I'm seeing screen grabs of like actual like shot for shot Sopranos scenes with the Penguin and Vic, and he's got his hand on his shoulder, and it's just they're doing some cool little Easter eggs in here for not only DC fans but like HBO fans. Like I think that's
it's very Sopranos. The show's very Sopranos. Yeah. The first episode really reminded me of Sopranos a lot. It had a little bit of that dark, dry humor in it, and the humor is kind of faded in the show, but I think it needed to. Like same with Sopranos. Sopranos like started off as like a quote unquote comedy because of known for comedy and stuff, and you have to get rid of that. This Oz is just a fantastic. They've done such a great job with Penguin. He's always been my favorite Batman villain, but they've done such a great job with this guy, fleshing out this version of him and this world with him. And again, I want to see. I kind of wish that Arkham show was greenlit because I want to see more of that Arkham show. Like they literally create villains in there. They create monsters in Arkham.
Yeah,
because Carmine's like, keep her in there, so they do whatever they can. So there's stuff going on. They had like that one inmate, killed herself, and obviously they pinned it on her, and then she took down Magpie hard.
Yeah, dude. Jeez.
She ripped her apart.
Yep, that was pretty brutal. Both of those scenes are pretty brutal.
Yeah,
as far as the show is concerned.
But it's going to be weird going back to the Batman where Colin Farrell can't have a cigar in his mouth and there won't be any swearing. Right?
Yeah, because it's PG-13.
Yeah, they're like they were like Batman characters can't smoke, so he wasn't allowed to have a cigar in the movie. But now he's like smoking cigars, shooting people, swearing left and right.
That's what I'm saying. Like these studio restrictions and shit. It's like that's what holds all content back, especially if you're trying to stay true to some canon.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if the Brave and the Bold Batman happens anytime soon, if they would relieve them of some of those restrictions.
Dude,
because that one's gonna be more family oriented, I would assume.
Okay, here's my thing though. Damien in the animated and everything else is not family friendly. Like as a 10-year-old, he's got a worse mouth than Oz Cobb in the show. Like, and I don't know, like he's allowed and to some extent, he's allowed to have that type of mouth. Like even Bruce doesn't check him because when he tries to check him, he just gets into hand-to-hand combat with him and fights him. But it depends on, I guess, how they're gonna do this character. And was he not Damien like raised by Ra's al Ghul and trained by those as well? So it's like, what are you doing with this Brave and the Bold, James Gunn? I'm very curious. Because the Damien that I know is a little shit.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, who knows what they're gonna do? Because look, I love the Batman.
Is he gonna be a Robin? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Here's the thing: I love Batman. I love the Batman. I love this Penguin show. But I also, and people get mad at me when I say this. So, and in chat, let me know if you get mad at me, or comment below. But like, I think we're good, and it's time for a family friendly. I shouldn't say family friendly, but a more like less grounded Batman. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to compare, but like we got all these realistic Batman. We haven't, like Affleck's was probably more on the other side, but Nolan's and now Reeves, it's like okay, I get it. but when is Batman going to be fun? Because I find like kids,
Right.
when I was a kid, we were all Adam West. You know what I mean? Like we were,
Mhm.
or the Super Friends, we were blue and gray Batman. I'm not saying it should go back to that. I would love blue and gray Batman.
Yeah.
But like that's what we were. I was Spider-Man once in a while, but Spider-Man, Superman, Batman were the big superheroes. Now it's Iron Man, Black Panther. Who else is there? I remember like Thor, Captain America. Like, where's Batman? Almost doesn't fit in with kids anymore. You know,
I
the
hear
anime.
you.
I
hear
love the
you.
Cape Crusader cartoon that came out this summer. I actually really dug that.
Mm-hmm.
Kids aren't gonna like that. Like that's not for
Right.
kids. Like so I just I don't know. I love these, and I'm like keep making these, but I think also we need something that's more that's more accessible for a younger generation. And I'm not saying make it G-rated, but I'm saying PG-13. Like PG-13 is pretty good. You could do a lot with PG-13.
Yeah, I mean, I think you lean into the dad stuff with his son, because even Bruce Wayne in all the Justice League animated stuff, he's making jokes with Superman and Shazam, and especially the Flash. Like he definitely rags on the Flash a lot, but he does act like a dad a lot to all the younger members of the Justice League. So I think that's kind of what you probably would do to make him family friendly or like fun loving at times. His jokes will be very dry, like dad type jokes, but you'll also be able to tell that this Bruce cares more, I guess, than some other.
Yeah.
I feel like the Affleck, he didn't care about anything. You know what I mean? He was just angry at the world.
I think he might have at one point.
Right. We're gonna need to see the early years of Batman when he has his son and they're training, etc. So I don't know. I am so hyped. I just want it now. I want all the James Gunn stuff now.
Again, Superman in July. I don't think you're gonna get Brave and the Bold until like 2030. Like
Oh my god. Oh.
I imagine they're gonna do a movie a year until they get their feet wet, and then it'll probably be 2 a year. Is my guess. Then there's the animated stuff. I'm curious, like Rick Flag Sr. I'm curious because he's coming in Creature Commandos. Then he's going to be in Superman. Superman, it's just called Superman.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be in what's the other one he's going to be? He's going to be in Peacemaker season 2 also.
Yeah.
Which could be good because I don't know if. So apparently Peacemaker season 1 is not part of the DCU, but season 2 is part of the DCU. So I don't know what they're going to do. But
dude, they're gonna make it super obvious right at the beginning. They're gonna make some super obvious thing to just like literally bring him in under someone's arm.
Probably, but I'm wondering if there will be a conversation about how Peacemaker killed Rick Flag's son. Like, I wonder if that's gonna happen because there are rumors that also Rick Flag, what's his name that plays Rick Flag in Suicide Squad? What's his name? Kinnaman. Apparently, there's rumors that he is going to be in Peacemaker season 2. He said no, he's denied it, but the rumors are that he will be there. So time will tell on that front.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of that rumor. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I loved Peacemaker, by the way. I love Peacemaker. I love Penguin. They're both so different, and they don't exist in the same world. But I love that they're both DC properties, and yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal.
They should have held the gun on that whole not saying Peacemaker was a part of it. They should just sometimes just, you don't have to tell us the whole truth. You can change that truth later on down the road and then tell us. But I think that show was very successful, and now it's confusing for a lot of fans.
I feel like they're going to stick with it because Viola Davis is still going to play Amanda Waller in the DC. And I think that ending with her in that show, I think that ending with her, though, is going to stick through it. Like it doesn't even matter. Like I don't know. There's the DCU and the DC movies. They're gonna have to figure out how to get us to not be so confused with that. And I'm sure they have a plan. In the next couple of years or year, we'll understand what that is, and we'll see. Superman's obviously the first one to go. See what's going on there. Because also Amanda Waller also exists in the Henry Cavill Superman universe as well, because she's in Black Adam with
oh man, DC, what did you do?
Well, nobody went to go see the movies, and when no one goes to see the movies, you gotta pivot, right? Pivot. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, we should wrap it up. This has been the Penguin. Anything else you want to say about the Penguin?
No, I'm just excited for everything that Matt Reeves is doing. And again, don't rush it. Don't fast track anything because of the success and the money you're making. Just keep the same pace you're going. It's a turtle race.
Script is done for the Batman 2. I don't know if it's the shooting script or what, but it's exciting stuff, and we're probably going to get more details on that, more leaks, more rumors, more theories on that as time goes on. Check this channel if you haven't. Scott, are you going live tonight after this?
I am. I'm going to try to do some GTA tonight in the city. We're role playing, so come through.
Role playing GTA sounds like a great Tuesday night. This is Super Tuesday. Scotty, thank you so much. Everybody watching, thank you all so much. Scotty Hawkish. Scotty Hawkish is the YouTube channel at Scotty Hawkish. So go there right after this. Support him. Thanks, everybody. We'll do this again next week. Is that it? That's all we're going to say. All right. Everybody,
yeah, I got nothing else. I think
no, I'm just joking. I don't know how to end these things. Give us a like and a subscribe, and be the master of your own universe. I'm going to play this video now. Good night, everyone.
Just cue the music, James.
I can't. It's not playing. At the stage. There we go.